All right, everyone, I'm going to call the docket for the attorneys. There's a little snafu. So if you have someone who is an inmate, they're going to be brought over, but we're going to be behind schedule on having the inmates brought over. They'll be brought over as quickly as possible, but there's a limited number of deputies. So we'll get them here as quickly as we can. And I know, Deputy Laura, there is no longer any snow outside, so there should be no excuses. All right, attorneys, these are the rules. Please follow these rules. You're not ready to approach the court unless you have conferred with the state and conferred with your client. If your client wishes to speak to the court in a language other than English, we will need an interpreter called down. Let the clerk know that you will need an interpreter. Once all of those things have been done, then you're ready to approach the court. You need to have the clerk pull the file. Just let them know. I will call you in the order of appearance. Please do not stare the court down because I will call you in the order in which you'll appear. And I will call you once I'm ready to call you. So those are the rules. Snow time is over. Hopefully everybody enjoyed the snow. Wasn't enough to make a snowman though, Bashan. Yeah. Did you enjoy Bali? Were you here for the snow or no?
No, I was not. I just got back yesterday.
Oh, so she enjoyed Bali, guys. Nice weather. hanging near the waters and not staring the primates in the eyes.
Exactly.
That's a sign. That's a challenge if you do that. All right, everyone, please confer. Vashawn? On Thomas Williams, I'm reading the violation report. They don't have any reports from the provider, and the provider, it says that the provider no longer has their lease and they canceled all services. Sure.
Satisfy that condition.
Okay, because what they're saying in the supplemental report, they said the treatment provider did not submit progress reports, status reports, or certificates of completion. Williams, it's in the second, well, the second full paragraph, the last sentence. All right, so if anybody can get in touch with the treatment provider and tell them there needs to be a certificate of completion. All right, thank you. All right, so attorneys who are coming in, if you have a client who is in custody, there was a miscommunication. Just 1 second, sorry. Hello, Mr. Mark. Jason, did you enjoy the snow?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like one snowball.
Yeah. Well, I walked in the MLK March. Oh, it was freezing. So I got up at 7 a.m. because they had a breakfast at 8 a.m. And of course, there was a serious debate at the breakfast because I informed people that sugar does not go on grits. So some of the people from North Carolina is like, yeah, it does. I'm like, no, it does not. It's just butter and maybe some pepper, call it a day. So after we did that, then we marched, which I was like, great, I'm going to burn some extra calories because it's cold. So we did the march and we had parked at the restaurant. And then after we finished the march, we was like, oh, we'll just walk back to the restaurant. So there was another mile. So I got that day I probably did about 6 miles.
Oh, wow. I mean, especially in the cold like that.
Oh, yes. But once you started walking, it wasn't so bad.
If you were properly dressed, and I tell you what, I mean, it's better than it being like wet.
Oh my gosh, if it would have rained, although I would have been prepared, but I would have just been like,
Oh, I mean, it was because I did, there was the rock and roll half marathon a couple of times.
mhm.
And the last time I did it, I was like, I did it 2 times. I was like, I'm never doing it again. Maybe 3 times. Like, I'm never doing it again
Mhm.
because it was raining,
Mhm.
it was windy, and it was below 30.
Oh, my gosh.
And I was like, this is miserable. I had a trash bag on at one point. I finally tore it off around a mile.
You're just like,
I was like, this is crazy.
oh, my gosh.
I was like, I'll never do it again. And any time I go to a race and it's like raining, I'm like,
Well, thank goodness my mom, she always sends me things. So she sent me some great shoes.
oh, yeah.
Because if you get, she always says, if you keep your head warm and your feet warm, you're going to be okay.
Yeah.
So there, my feet were warm and toasty, and I called her. I'm like, Mom, the shoes you said they feel so great.
Oh,
And she's like, well, make sure you have your scarf and cover your ears. I'm like, my ears are covered.
oh,
But so it was fun. I will tell you, the people who enjoyed the weather, I shouldn't say people, but the Huskies,
oh, I bet.
they were loving it.
They were just like,
They're like, this feels great.
I mean, it was funny because my dog, he's fluffy.
Mhm.
But I mean, my sister works at a vet tech, so she always gets him groomed for me.
Mhm.
And she's like, oh, hey, I went and got your dog at your house and I took him to get his haircut.
Mhm.
I was like, well, it's just about to get
Oh,
cold.
yeah.
And so he was shaved. I mean, like his hair's like, we're usually about this
Mhm.
long.
Yeah.
And then he'd go down and he's like, he's just standing there and I'm like, he looks so much smaller.
Yeah.
He looks like he was freezing to death.
Yeah.
He's in my house right now. And I have this couch that my mom gave me.
Mhm.
It's white leather.
Ah.
And that dog loves, around me, he won't get on the couch.
Mhm.
But as soon as I leave, he just sort of sneaks up there and I put all this stuff all over the couch,
Mhm.
all over the couch so he won't get on there. And I don't know how he does it, but he finds like a little spot,
Mhm.
doesn't knock those things off, but sort of finagles through there and lays down. The other day, he had his head up on the back
Mhm.
and like, I was like, what? Because I had a camera set up
Yeah.
in there so I could see him.
Yeah.
And I was like, if that thing had a mic.
Does your dog need an attorney?
He
You got
probably
attorney.
does. He's gonna need one because I mean, I'm getting tired of it taking.
But see, your mom and my mom are sort of alike because my mom had a white leather sofa.
So, yeah.
And it was just like, okay, can't spill anything. Let's not
Exactly.
spill anything. But yeah, those were the days.
Oh,
Yeah.
I tell you.
I miss those days with the Curtis Mathis TV. You know what somebody said? Nobody ever stole televisions
Back
in the
then,
past
you
because you
couldn't.
couldn't. And so,
Well, if you were stealing, you were very good in physical shape because if you take it off of those.
yeah, because my mom still has her Curtis Matthews. It works.
Wow.
But of course, she doesn't use it. She uses something else. But the Curtis Matthews that had the record player with it,
Oh my
the
God.
8-track, it had everything. So we still have the Curtis Mathis.
I still have an 8-track somewhere in my sister's thing where with my dad had gotten my two sisters, my two older sisters, like stereos with 8-tracks and record player and everything, but it had a record thing on the 8-track.
Yes, yes.
And they recorded me singing Grease Lightning. And it's on some 8-track somewhere.
Oh, we need to bring that up. But young people never understand or appreciate the fact that you could not release an 8-track and not have every song on there be
Oh, yeah.
good because you can't, there's no fast forward on that.
Go. And you have to go back, because
Yeah.
it was, what did it have, like, a lot of them had 4 sections,
Yes,
and you could go to each section.
yes,
And then, I mean, I remember that, and then like always the flip side. It's like nobody, like cassette tapes, when they came out,
Yes.
nobody would know the flip side.
no,
And it's just like, and then it was like, they got smart, they put one song on the one side and then one on the other.
oh,
And then, of course, the 45s.
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And they will never understand when something happened to the tape and you have to take it out
Oh.
and then twist it
Yeah,
and then try to put some
the
tape on it.
pencil.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Still-
Really time.
Man, those were the days. They were trying days, but those were the days.
Have you ever done it where like the tape would break
Yes.
and I get Scotch tape, cut it and like tape it together and it would skip, but it would work.
Yes.
And I was like, I've done that with a VHS tape. Like, I'm like,
Mhm.
like what, like, and I was like, how, and like I used to watch Goonies all the
Oh,
time.
yes.
And it broke. So I was like, I got the Scotch tape, taped it up and it worked.
I still have my VHS tapes.
Oh my gosh.
And back in the day, I don't know if it was legal or not, but you would tape your programs. And I still have the Adventures of Briscoe County Jr. on VHS.
That's hilarious.
I love Briscoe County Jr.
I mean, it's still an argument with my mom was how do you record on the VCR?
Yes. Oh, let me just tell you, I was an expert with the TV. So when I was home, I would record and then pause it when the commercials.
Oh,
came on.
wow. Wow,
So
that's pretty
if you
that's
watch a
dedicated.
Boyd original VHS tape, you will not have any commercials.
Cool. That's like when you're recording with the cassettes off the radio.
Yeah.
It's like you always got not the beginning of the song.
Yes.
It's like it started and then it would stop. My
Yes.
sister was the worst. It's like she would be making a cassette tape or something like
Mhm.
that. And then like the song would be going and then it would just cut off. And I'm like, you gotta wait. You gotta fade out.
Okay, here we are confessing to crimes. I think the statute has run
Oh,
up.
yeah.
Because I don't think we were allowed to.
We
take-
were Napster before Napster was around.
Yeah, we were. And then you would share it with your friends.
Oh, God, yes. I mean, I remember one kid that used to make cassette tapes and trying to sell them for like $1.
Yeah.
The kids at the school, it was hilarious.
Okay, the only thing I would sell, I would never sell cassette tapes, but to make money, you would do the freeze cups. And you just get the Kool-Aid packets were, $1 for 10.
Yeah.
And then you would get the styrofoam cups. You would get a lot of styrofoam cups for like $2. And then I would sell them, put them in the freezer and sell it for 25 cents.
Oh, my God.
Children would come knocking under a freeze cup.
Oh, wow. I did the Kool-Aid stand. I mean, I actually built the Kool-Aid stand and had it out front.
Your overhead was too high building the stand.
Hey, it was scrap. It was all scrap, so I built it.
Sell my price.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And I mean, the cops would come by.
See, I didn't do that. And then I determined that the styrofoam cups were the best because when you're eating the freeze cup, you can just tear
tear it
this.
apart. Yeah.
Those were the days.
Yeah.
All right, who's here on Julio Smith? All right, so you need to make sure that you're on time next time, okay? I understand that the traffic is bad and 281 is bad, but all right. And thank you for dressing appropriately for court. You always do, but I appreciate that. All right, so today is the final day for discovery. Counsel, if you'll state your name.
As you said,
All right, so do you have all of the discovery?
we have obtained the arrest record, the arrest pictures from the federal marshals. So we did receive that. The prosecutor did meet with the complainant and tried to see if there were any other videos that we were looking for, but she's confirmed that there are no other videos. The prosecutor also stated that she's confident that there's no pictures taken from the university hospital by the officers. We had believed that maybe there were, but the officer was sent away and she's pretty confident that there are no pictures.
All right, so is there anything else you think that maybe is out there that you don't have?
The prosecutor says she's gonna follow up with University Hospital to see if there are any scans. So we believe that we did see scans in the file previously, but they aren't there now.
And when you say scans of what?
Like hospital scans, x-rays, medical photos. things
Okay.
like-
All right,
Judge, and just to speak to that, so when we were here last setting, I know the court informed me that this was our last discovery setting, and so I did everything that they asked last setting. The scan, this is the first I'm hearing of it. I have no knowledge of that. They've represented to me that they were formerly in the file and are not. The entire time that the file has been in my possession, I have not seen that. I did ask the previous prosecutor whether he had any knowledge of that, and he stated that he had never seen it as well. But just to comply with what they're asking for, I told them that I would reach out to university again, but I'm not sure. So
all right, so counsel, other than the scans, is that the final item?
Yes, those are discovery issues.
All right, so you're reaching out to university today?
yes, Judge. I mean, so we have the medical records. And whatever they're referring to, these x-rays, I would assume that they would be turned over with the medical records, but we don't have them. I've never seen them before. So it's something that I do need to reach out and ask if they have, but to my knowledge, I don't, this is the first I'm learning of it.
All right, and were you able to tender an offer?
I will do that today.
All right. So I'm going to set you off for a plea deadline date. Y'all need to confer off docket with regards to the discovery issues. Of course, if there is an issue where you don't have discovery and it actually exists, you can let the court know. But your discovery deadline, Ms. Ferguson, put this for the week of February 17th for a plea deadline date. All right, your plea deadline date is going to be February 17th. Mr. Smith, on that date, you need to let the court know whether or not you've reached an agreement with the state. If you have not reached an agreement, your next setting is going to be a trial setting.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and then parties, you'll need to be prepared on that date also to sign an acknowledgement of discovery. Counsel, is there anything else?
That's it. Thank you.
All right, you're doing a great job.
Thank you. You're welcome.
All right, once you all sign the reset form, you'll be excused. If you'll have a seat, they'll bring the reset form to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Justin Guzman.
Your approach, Judge.
Yes.
Apparently I have an unlocatable client right now.
All right, when you say unlocatable, what do you mean?
Well, they thought he was not at Atascosa, so they checked Garza West, and he's not there either, apparently.
So apparently the information that Garza West has is for a different Guzman, Justin. So Judge, I would ask that we can see about putting this on the docket for another day to give me a little more time to contact the officer to see if we could investigate a little further on where exactly he is.
Okay, just
I
one
don't have any
second.
objection to that, Judge.
Let me see something.
I believe
He's-
Norma and Yaya looked in the system, have contacted Atascosa, have contacted Guzman West, Garza West, I'm
and Viva.
sorry.
What's his date of birth? Or did we know his age? You said 1989? So that puts him at what, 35?
Think so, more or less.
Does he only have this charge? Does he have anything else? All right, this is the correct number. Do you want to call this number and see if the family can tell you where he is?
I can certainly do that.
All right, so.
Phone number, you mean?
Yeah, if
Here.
you'll call that number and
Okay.
ask where he's located, just let them know you're his attorney. And because he has a warrant in this court. So if you call that number, if you want to call it, and then let's
Report
find
back.
out. Yes.
That's fine.
All right, thank you. All right, do you know how close they are to bringing inmates? We are being patient. All right, Francisco Martinez.
Morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Hi. Hey, thank you for dressing appropriately for court. So where are we on his PTD?
We just signed the paperwork, Your Honor, this morning, and I have to just email it to the DA's office, which I will do as soon as I leave the court.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, I need a PTD date on Gaza Martinez. All right, we'll be back on February 24th.
Okay, thank
Once you
Judge.
sign the reset form, you're excused. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Just have a seat. He'll bring the reset form to you.
Judge, may I approach?
Yes.
Went straight to voicemail. I left a message.
All right.
I don't know what else.
All right. And so your client is Justin Guzman?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. On Justin Guzman, they have him listed as having a warrant.
Right.
And I told him that he could appear by Zoom, and that was December 5th. But Sean, do you know if Veterans Treatment Court has been able to reach out to him? In fact, yes. All right, I'm going to give him a 14-day reset.
Okay.
And so we'll see if he shows. But he has a supplemental report from probation that we're trying to see what is happening.
Okay.
All right, I need a 14-day reset on Justin Guzman. I'm sorry, when? Okay,
6.
all right, we'll see if we can find him.
May I be excused?
Yes.
Thank you, Judge.
Mr. Griffin? Are you Thomas Griffin Williams?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh,
I'm his lawyer,
All right.
Court appointed me for this.
Yes, thank you very much. So we were able to reach Mr. Martinez. We're just waiting for him to send over an email saying that you've satisfied this condition. So he should be sending it to us shortly. Because I like to have all I's dotted and T's crossed, because if I don't receive this, and if something were to happen, I were to win the lottery and retire, the new judge who comes in, they'll say, I don't have this. You didn't complete it. So he said that he was going to email it to us, and that was at, let's see, 9:25 a.m. is when I was able to reach him. And I texted him and gave him Miss Abrams' email address as well as mine. So just be patient. He's sending that over and it should be taken care of.
We'll wait until you call us again, Judge.
All right, thank you. All right, Thomas Griffin Williams. I have an update. You know, sometimes I don't know if, sometimes people's time frame is different from my time frame. So when I talked to him and he said he would email it, I had the impression that it was going to be done fairly quickly, because he said, oh, I don't have to write a letter or anything. I can just email. I'm like, yes, you can. He said, oh, that'll be easier.
Said your time frame is sometimes yesterday.
Yeah, thank you. But it's yesterday with kindness and patience, right, Michonne? So I just talked to him and he told me he's not near a computer. He said he will be near a computer in an hour. So this is what we can do, because this is the only reason why you're here. If you want, you all can be excused. We will see if he sends this in an hour. If he does, probation will let you know it's been sent and this has been satisfied. If he doesn't send it, probation will let you know it hasn't been sent. And we'll see if we can have him on a recording with all of us present saying that you've satisfied the condition. At least that way you'll have something. All right, so you're excused. Do we need another reset for him, Ms. Abrams, or no? Yes. So that will be satisfied. And if for some reason he does not send it, we can see if we can set up a Zoom, have him on Zoom, stating on the record that you have satisfied that condition, and then you will be done with that condition. All right.
So may we be excused now, Judge?
Yes.
And await further word from the court?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for dressing appropriately for court.
Of course, always.
Thank you. All right, who's here on Johnny Joe Aguirre? All right, state on Johnny Joe Aguirre. Are you all prepared to tender an offer today to defense counsel's in jury trial? It's Johnny Joe Aguirre.
I think there was an offer made.
All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to recall this for the week of February 3rd. So if y'all can make sure that he has an offer. I need a date, week of February 3rd. All right, we'll come back on February 6th. And Jason, on McIntyre, if you can make sure that defense has no motions that the court needs to hear. I think we've heard all the motions.
Which one?
McIntyre, because that's the week of February 3rd.
Right, I think you said it for the
The third
turn any
for
motions
motions.
for the third.
So if you can make sure, if you could call them and see if they have any evidentiary motions or
Well,
something of that nature.
They just got some. They just asked for more.
All right, Deputy Laura, I think he needs a mask. Yes. No, not for you, the person in the office. Yeah,
It was the most miserable 3 weeks.
see, I'm not good with that. I can't take pain. I'll say Jose Amador.
Yes, Judge, that's a motion to pay. We've led to it. He's gonna be sentenced next week on Thursday.
Okay,
And that case particularly, I guess, is gonna be TIC, but those two files are the ones that he had pled to.
all right, and if you'll make sure to have them make you a copy.
Judge. And then there's another motion, I think they're printing out the docket sheet.
Okay.
Because that case we pled in sentence to, I don't recall, she was the one that had issues coming out. Occasionally had to
Mhm.
bring her out.
Oh, yes.
We resolved that matter.
All right, everyone, the court is going to be recessing at noon. And you'll have to come back in the afternoon. All right, Ariante de la Cruz.
Morning, Judge.
Good morning.
Morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Thank you for dressing appropriately for court.
Yes, ma'am.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Your Honor.
All right, so have you received all the discovery?
Well, all right, Judge. So we were hired in December of last year. We did receive voluminous discovery from the state. I don't know how many gigabytes there are.
State. Who's the state on Ariante Emmanuel de la Cruz?
Me, Judge.
Have you turned over all discovery?
It's on the e-discovery system, Your Honor, but there are multiple surveillance videos, but it's all uploaded and available to defense.
All right, did you tender an offer?
I did not provide an offer today, but I can do so.
All right, an offer will need to be provided today. Ms. Ferguson, set this for a plea deadline date in March. And do, when is spring break for people? All right, set it for the week of March 17th for a plea deadline date. All right, March 20th is going to be your plea deadline date. Before you leave today, the state will make sure that your attorney has received an offer.
Yes, ma'am.
On that date, if you all have not come to an agreement, then your next setting is going to be a jury trial date.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
All right, just have a seat. They're going to give you a reset form. Once you sign that, you're excused.
Yes, ma'am. Have a
All
blessing.
right, thank you.
Judge.
You're welcome. You're here on Ruben Torres?
Yes, I'm sorry, Judge. I am. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. How's it going?
It's good. How are you?
Oh, great. So where's your client? Is he set for today?
No, he's not set for today. I
Okay.
just stopped by to see about, it's just transfer by us, community supervision. Do you require that, if he requires presence, we'll come back.
All right, it says on here that he was already supposed to be transferred to Williamson County.
No, this is what happens when Jason doesn't show up.
Okay, yeah.
I have Nueces County. Ruben Torres, Ohio, right?
Yes, and it says here on August 15th, transfer to Williamson County.
You know what, Judge? Let's hold and get
Okay.
to the bottom. I'm sorry, Judge.
No problem. But yeah, that's what I have. Let me go to. Let me see, because the transfer is
Something's
from
not
August,
right.
so it's not, may not be in,
And your order already, you've already signed an order for you?
yes, you may want to check with probation, but
know
in my
what?
notes, it says,
That's a good idea. I should have probably checked with them. before I
oh, no
approached you.
problem. But in my notes, it says that he's to be transferred to Williamson County.
Let me clear it up with them.
Sure,
Thank you, Judge.
you're welcome.
How's your mom doing?
Oh, she's doing great. Yeah, arthritis, but you know, that's everybody.
Much?
Oh, I have, yes, she probably is.
Where's from? What name?
I have no.
I was gonna wave to her.
Oh, you can always wave to mom. She'll see and she'll say, is that Joey Contreras?
You tell her that we go way back.
We do. You know, it's so funny. I was telling the deputies and the attorneys about that trial where I was sitting with Pat Hancock and we were trying the case.
Ah, you have a good memory.
Oh, yeah. I call it the domino case because it was all over dominoes. That's how I remember my cases.
You were a very, I think aggressive's not the right word. Aggressive makes it seem like you were kind of
Yeah.
nails out, but you weren't like that. You're very persistent. You did, you represented your clients very well.
Oh, thank you so much. Hey, how's the novels coming along?
A new one coming out in a few weeks.
All right, I'll be there.
I'll get you one.
All right, thank you. Oh, I think he may need a mask is
That's fine. It's Martinez.
right here on the end.
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
Morning. How's it going?
Got roller skates today. I'm paying for being off a little while.
Oh, isn't it always the way?
They're always the way.
Yes.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
So quick question. So on this case, it's going to be a plea. It's going to be for time. My question to you is, do you normally do a PSI on these types of cases?
Well, there will be no need for a PSI. I'll read the police report and see if the offer is
Okay.
appropriate.
Okay.
But, yeah.
My next question is, okay, so it's not required. Normally it's not. Do you have access to the competency evaluation as well? Do you look at that, or is that something that,
It should be in the file, and so I'll review it.
okay,
Whatever everyone wants me to review.
okay. If I wanted to get a PSI done, could I get that done?
Why would you need a PSI?
Really just to get you more information on my client's history,
Mhm.
which may be helpful, maybe not, but I don't necessarily think it's
Well, is this
necessary
a
at this
cap
point.
offer?
It's just a 2-year recommendation for, to do.
Okay, then I don't need a PSI.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I just didn't know if these particular cases that maybe you would. Okay, all right.
No, I'll just read the police report, look at the facts. I'll review the competency if you want to present that to me, and I'll make a decision on whether or not I think it's an appropriate sentence.
And the only reason why I think the competency evaluation might be beneficial is because it'll go into his history as far as his mental health issues.
It's fine.
Okay.
And they should have a copy of it.
Okay, all right.
All
Thank
right.
you.
You're welcome.
Approach on that, Judge.
Just give me a moment. Yes.
Judge, I was here on Mr. Martinez. I believe we have an agreement worked out on this case. I was seeing if we could maybe come back to do the plea and go over the paperwork. Maybe when the court isn't as crowded, doesn't have as much going on. He's the elderly gentleman in the front. I think it will take a while to go over the paperwork with him.
Oh, no, you can
And
go
he-
ahead.
He can't hear.
All right, you can
So-
go ahead and go with the paperwork. They can put him on the back over there.
Okay, because he's having trouble hearing. I've raised my
Alright.
voice. He still can't hear.
All right, they'll work with you. He can go in the
Okay.
back row. Yes,
May I ask a procedural question?
sure.
I have been hired by a gentleman who has 2 MTIs that are warrants right now.
Mhm.
And I know the procedure, file a motion to come before you to get the bonds set.
Yes.
They're both nonviolent. My question is, after the bonds are set, would you allow him to go to satellite, or do you require him to go all the way to jail?
Oh, that's whether he goes all the way to jail or satellite is really dependent upon satellite. Sometimes satellite will not accept them.
That is true.
So it depends on satellite.
I'd have to coordinate with satellite. I didn't think about that.
Yes.
They only take them at certain.
Well, they only take them at certain times, and then some cases they do not take it all. So
But
you
if
have
they
to
are,
coordinate.
I'm sorry, if they are otherwise okay, you would be a,
That's fine with me.
that's it. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome.